Hopefully it doesn't pick up through the mic, but... Alright, well I'm good to go. So everyone, this is, my name is Martyr, this is ASM2018. I'm pretty notorious at not being able to commentate while playing games, so I've got Dan behind me who has run the game and Paso who knows a little bit about it as well. I'm going to leave most of it to them, but I'll chime in when I can. I'm going to try and focus on playing the game. But yeah, I'm ready, I'll give you a countdown. Yep, alright, going 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! Let's go.
Cool.
Alright, so something I should probably front load. You're going to be seeing a lot of interesting movement from HatKid. We're going to try not to front load all of that at once, but here you're seeing dive boosts, which is basically Mart's hitting the dive button. The moment he hits the floor, he's boosting, and there's a little visual effect and a sound. Gives you a nice burst of speed. I believe it's faster than sprinting, so like if you're able to dive boost, you want a dive boost.
Dive boost is very fast, yeah.
So part of this first level with the routing, you're meant to follow Mustache Girl like normally, but the level's very open. That's unfortunate. Mart's going to go the back way, which is much faster and also collect some yarn. The way yarn works in this game is if you collect one kind, that's your blueprint, and then if you collect a certain amount of any yarn, you can then construct it. So he's collected 2 sprint, I believe they're both sprint, which is going to let him just immediately make the sprint hat there. He makes it in the pause menu there because that cuts in with the time he's appearing cannot be skipped.
Yeah, so if you, you always craft hats during unskippable parts of the game, because if you craft it and then unpause, it'll continue doing the crafting scene during the cutscene. So ideally I would have menued a bit faster there, but yeah, my hands are really cold and I can't menu when my hands are cold, so.
Also, that looked pretty fancy, but all you have to do there is hold left and then hit B to turn on the sign, and that basically, her ship has lost power because she's lost her timepieces, so you progressively open up more of the ship.
Yep.
So, if you notice there's a question mark here that says, green gem times 5. Those are called ponds, and that's why Mart went out of his way to pick some up at the beginning there. So part of this route is she came from outer space early, and picking up those little green ponds is going to be very important throughout the run. He's going to have to keep an eye on his pond count. I think the route you're using is a little more merciful for ponds. I'm not 100% on that one.
The new route, there was a route found shortly, about a month ago or something, and yeah, it's very good for ponds. It used to be you had to collect quite a lot and you had to keep an eye on it. But as long as you have, I need 100 to unlock a level in Mafia Town here, plus I did DSJ there.
So just quickly before we move too far away from it as well,
yeah.
You saw there the pages he was collecting, and so he collected 1, but then it all of a sudden said 3 instead of just 2.
Yep.
That's if you, I believe it works by you take damage and then collect it, and it will just dupe the page.
Yeah, so if you collect certain items, I'm pretty sure it's, there's tickets and something else. You can't do it with yarn, but certain collectibles in this game, if you collect it during iframes, you get 2 instead of 1. So yeah, I got 1 and then I duped the second one, so I got 3, which is honestly not even that much faster because the third ticket's
it's very close by.
It's very, very close by.
It will prove very useful in a little bit.
Yeah.
So something pretty cool there is there's a lot of RNG in this level to do with picking up ponds. You actually got pretty good pond RNG from the Mafia guy there.
Yeah, so there's a little bit, how many, at each spot that Mafia can drop anywhere between 3 and 5 ponds. Obviously the more, you want more.
You seem to get a lot of 4s there, I believe. I can't fully remember, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to be alternating back and forth between keyboard and mouse and controller. Because it's a 3D platformer, controller
it's a must.
Well, not a must. There's top players that use keyboard and mouse, but they're wrong,
oh yeah,
so
that's
okay.
true actually.
But yeah, it's the menus, and there's one particular level a little bit later on that is a lot faster with keyboard and mouse. So, and this is the reason why we did. I pointed out when we did. She came from outer space a little bit earlier.
So the way combat works in this game is if you were to just spam that umbrella attack, they get that little red aura around them. It's basically the way enemies are getting smart and wising up to your attack, so you have to mix it up. If you have the brewing hat, which is that little witch's hat he puts on, You can quickly make a potion and just throw it right at them at point blank range, and it just gets you through combat that a little bit faster, and it's very, very useful on an upcoming boss.
Saves a couple of seconds getting the brewing hat early. There's a bunch of yarn she came from outer space that you get, so you craft it early on to maybe come here. Also, yeah, the barrels can't hit you if you stand in certain spots here. I just like to jog on the spot.
Show them the D-pad, yeah.
Yeah, the kisses. You can also do the, yeah, very, very cute game. I like the running on the spot. I think this one's adorable. So, but, you know, basically just gotta wait until this ends. Hit him, didn't quite work. You can hit him early there to send him down, and I have to use him.
The end of this can be quite intense. Mark's going to try to get up here as quick as he can to set himself up.
I'm not supposed to climb there. That's okay.
Yeah, so the way it works is similar to, I guess, if anyone's seen Mario games, where the timepiece, once you do something, will spawn in a certain spot. And so if you can get to that spot before it spawns, you'll just collect it straight away.
Yeah, it's a nice little optimization throughout the run. Something really nice about this game as well is you can just enable cutscene skipping on the menu, so you don't have to worry about figuring out how to skip cutscenes or hit a button. So like every time you see like intruder alert and nothing seems to happen, that's just because the game is not playing cutscenes.
Yeah.
There's also a built-in speedrun timer, which is once used up the top. That's mandatory for the community to use.
Yeah, you like I know the GDQ race. Also, I hit 2 with 1 hit there. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, nice.
It's always good optimization. Yeah, you can like turn it on at any point. So like I could technically turn it off and then right at the end of the run turn it on, and it will have kept track of the time that I got, whether or not it's on or not, which is kind of nice.
It's sort of, if you turn it off, it's effectively just hidden. It's tied to your save file. So if Mart were to load up like a casual save, it would just say like 23 hours.
Alright, yeah, so those Mafia guys can throw cans at you and they make you stumble before getting canned. Can happen one place later as well.
Little thing there, throwing that bucket right as you pick up the third pawn and then sprinting over the button will make sure that as it hits the edge, it will keep the button pressed down.
Yeah,
if you
for
don't
whatever
sprint
reason,
over it, it won't stay down.
Yeah, you have to sprint over it. It's very, very weird.
Alright, so this trick coming up is kind of weird. I hope I'm explaining it right, because I actually don't use this strat.
Yeah, this is...
You're basically, I think the way it is you're kind of sandwiching yourself in between 2 invisible walls, getting up here. There's a bit of platforming. There's a lot of invisible boundaries and volumes he's trying to avoid here to skip a really huge gate. Nice, and that skips a little combat segment.
Yeah, so I skipped a mini cutscene and an entire fight that you have to do. It saves, if you do it optimally, which I didn't quite do it optimally, I still save time, but I think you can save like 5 or 6 seconds optimally even setting it up. So this is the first, like, I guess boss.
One of the major RNG points of the run as well.
Yeah, there's very little RNG, but this is like a pretty big part. I mean, by big I mean I think it's the difference between the worst and the best RNG is like 12 seconds or something.
It's very common for this boss to just make runs salty early on because he can just choose to jump off the stage and sandbag, come back, sandbag again.
Yeah, that sandbag attack you can get anywhere from 2 to 4 times, 2 obviously being the most optimal, 4 being the worst. So I think I've got 3, so 3. 3's not so bad.
Yeah.
3's about average. And I'm going to do something here.
So with the brewing hat, if you put it on and just hold the charge for a potion and stand way off in the right corner here,
See you later, man.
He's out.
Yep.
He just checks out. I don't even know the technical explanation.
I don't know. I just know it works, but you skip the entire third phase of the fight, which is pretty obnoxious and pretty long as well.
Very obnoxious phase. He's probably like casually the worst boss in the game, just because he's very simple, like is not a very interesting arena.
Yeah.
But no, it's the first boss, I guess.
Alright. Now we have a slightly hard level.
Okay, so this will involve the ticket duping from earlier. And the way this one works is it's quite finicky. I'm going to front load for this one. Mart's going to get up pretty high so that he takes fall damage. And when he hits the ground, he wants to be near a ticket so he can immediately get back up, jump up, and like with the iframes towards the tail and pick up the ticket. He did an SDJ there. I will explain that when we get a moment.
I don't know if that was an SDJ. Nice, I still got it. That
Nice,
shouldn't have
yeah.
made it. That was very, very close.
So this has 4 tickets typically. He's only going to pick up 2. Thankfully, this second one is like super free. Whoops. Provided you don't fall off the platform. Nice.
Yeah. So again, the same with the ticket you just collected during iframes. It just does it for you. So the other 2 tickets are very far away, not fun to get.
So there's something technical with the way you need to jump off the edge once you start, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean. We can touch on SDJs a little bit later, I guess. Yeah,
we will get to
it,
them.
it comes up again.
Yeah, they're used quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's used in one particular level. Like, if I do it optimally, I do it 4 times in the one level. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So Mart's using Golden Vault here because he's going to go do a Time Rift, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
It
yeah.
gives you the optimal spawn location for it. The way Time Rifts work is, you might have noticed it said, Time Rift detected, and there's a little icon off to the left. If you would have select that, you don't go to this, you just get a photo. So it's like, search for hub. Kind of like secret levels in Mario Sunshine.
Yep.
So just going to Golden Vault gives you the optimal location to just go straight to it.
Hopefully, I make this cycle.
Time Rifts are probably the best part of the game as well. Just they can be very intense, but it's just focused platforming like in Sunshine.
All right, that cycle I just made is not easy. So
Yeah,
I'm glad
that
I
was
made that.
really good.
That was a bit silly.
Nice.
Cool. So by the end of this rift, I needed 100 ponds. Also, there's the roulettes that happen. It's right off the bat. Oh boy, I
So-
love RNG.
The reason you don't want to get remixes and you want to get skins or hats is
Intruder alert.
you get this little intruder alert. But because of how many roulettes you end up doing and how many items you go through, it's almost a given that a run will have a remix in it.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really worth getting too upset over.
It's only a few seconds,
Yeah.
and it only happens once. Like once you get one remix, you can't get another intruder alert when you get another remix. But
Yeah, it basically spawns some NPCs in a room that are like, hey, you can change music and weapons.
oops, that was bad.
So this is a pretty intensive little section. Mart wants to take a certain amount of damage because he's going to death abuse. He's also, this is different routing to what I'm typically used to, but you basically need to turn on these types.
I might actually be in trouble here. Yeah. Okay.
You can still, if you play conservative, you can correct it. Ooh, right, you picked up a heart. I was so scared for a second.
Nope, it's all good.
All right. Be still, my beating heart.
Okay, it's fine. It's very slow, but
Marathons, man. That's how it is.
that's not exactly how I wanted to do that. But
So-
so I want to, yeah, and that's an intentional death there. So even when you die, the taps that you hit stay hit basically. So it basically is just an easy way to get back to the start.
Yeah, every time you hit a tap, you'll see it here on the left. It'll pop up with checkpoint when it's done spinning,
Yep.
like that. So the way it works is it just gives you a central spawn location, which is the beginning, so you can kind of abuse that to get around the map.
And so you need to be sure to not death abuse before that checkpoint shows up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to mess up the timing on it. I don't think I've
Yeah, if
ever
you-
seen Mart do it, but yeah.
If you hit them too fast,
Yeah, it's less about going off early, because it gives you, the death animation is kind of long enough that if you hit it properly, it'll show up. What he did on one of the types is he kind of was mashing square, but if you look there, it's more rhythmic. He kind of spaces it out. And it's because if you're spamming it, it just doesn't count some of those hits.
yep. Yeah, you space it out that way. But if you do it too fast, it just won't count, and you die, and you have to go all the way back. And it's very fun. This level's hard. This is
Yeah,
probably one of the
optimizing
hardest
this
levels
is
in
pretty
the run.
crazy.
Yeah.
There's a nice little, just sitting on top of the timepiece there, so it'll instantly finish. Shout outs to the Mafia on the right, just T-posing.
Yeah.
There he
Look
is.
at him. Love the T-pose. I also picked up a relic during that as well, which I'll point out a bit later. This is it's actually part of the route change that happened. Never used to collect relics, but we collect 2 now. Alright. Another time rift open, so I'm going to go into barrel battle, it's the closest one to this time rift entry. This one's not too bad.
The entry to this one is really cool because it's just so fast.
I can do it, hopefully.
And you're there.
Nice, yeah.
So this is actually a pretty cool little one. This level's been known to speedrunners for a little bit longer than the rest of the game. Before the game came out, there was a beta speedrunning event.
Oh my god. I dive boosted way too early.
But yeah, this was one of the sort of early finished levels showcased to the community because the devs still are even, very supportive of speedrunners. Something about the game is we actually run on 1.0.
Yeah.
Man, you had me worried.
Yeah, because I died there. The cycle's usually a lot nicer, but if you die there, then the cycle's a little bit further on. You kind of have to YOLO it a bit. So
yeah, if he was on pace, he would have been picking it up on the right side of that platform as it was spinning up towards him. Usually you want to be on the right side of the platform. That's your indication of good pace. But if you at least have it on top, it's not so bad.
Alright, so this is the second relic I get. Okay. I'm also, it's worth pointing out that mashing text in this game, 3 buttons mash through text. So I mash all 3 buttons anytime there's text if I can.
There is one level where, I'm not sure if you'll do it, but a lot of runners will switch to mouse and keyboard for certain mashing sections because you have to enter text, which is
fun.
I
will at some point. I'm going to go for this probably 3 times before I do. This is the hardest trick in the game, by the way.
Yeah, very difficult.
I got it exactly 0 times in practice, so I don't like my chances, but
I'll front load what you're doing, and if you don't get it, at least they know how it works.
Yeah. For sure.
The way this level works is you're meant to sort of just go forward on spawn, and you get insnared in this trap, and then the Snatcher, he's the ghost you saw on the loading screen. Hold on, unfortunate. He talks to you, and you have to mash through all this text. You have to select a contract. It kind of changes a few things about running through this level. It's just a bit obnoxious, but if you go up here and get up on this tree, and you can kind of it's not an SDJ, it's I can't remember which one it is.
It's a momentum conservation
That's
jump,
it, yeah.
is what we call it.
Yeah, the MJ, everyone would call it
The momentum jump, yeah.
Yeah.
The like mic, I think we coined it.
Like mics, that's it.
Sonic and I.
Yeah. He's basically storing...
I'll go once more, because I haven't even gotten a proper attempt at it yet, so...
Yeah. So he's basically keeping his momentum going off of that jump, and it carries him way over to a tree, and he does a little dive cancel, and climbs up onto the tree. Climbing up is very tricky, because it's kind of like a horizontal move.
Maybe. Come on. Yes, I got it. Nice. Yeah. So there's a there's a trigger that I just skipped over, which
and if you can actually view the volume if you use the console, and the volume is this huge rectangle. That's why you have to be so high up and running over. So that seriously impressive. Even for 4th try, it's such an annoying trick.
Yeah, it's very, very annoying. It saves optimally, I think, 35 seconds if you get it first try.
Yeah,
so it's pretty significant.
Plus, it's just a great trick to see in a marathon run.
Yeah, for sure. Alright.
So, Mart's actually going to, I believe, death abuse as you grab the timepiece.
Yes, so I'm taking intentional damage here to set something up.
And what that will do is, he will have the timepiece on, but he will respawn within the level. So it saves him. I believe the reason why, a little fuzzy on this one, I think if you go back to the hub and go to move into the level, you are just stuck waiting through all of these timepiece missions being introduced.
Yeah, so if I pull it off, it's relatively easy, but in saying that, I'll probably fail it now that I've said that. But basically, I want this. I actually tried to do that before all that happened, but I want this cherry. I'm going to get this yarn first, and then I want this cherry because I need to light it.
So what he's doing is...
Cool.
Yeah, nice.
So basically, I collected the timepiece. The timepiece counter goes up, but instead of like usually when you get a timepiece, it sends you back to the spaceship. But instead, because I took a death, it's like, oh, okay, and it just spawns me back at the start of that, but I still have the timepiece. So yeah, it saves you having to view through, you know, all the stuff that Dan was saying back in the spaceship. So
it's a trick that's used. Actually, I don't know if it's used again this, but it used to be used for Parade as well.
Yes.
But for a slightly different, well, sort of the same, but also a different reason. You'd do it so you can get to a time rift that's really quick if you enter through Parade, and it also skips a bunch of things popping up on the level select. Alright. Okay, so this is really cool.
cool.
Nice! First try.
Yeah, that's FPS dependent. I still don't exactly understand how it works, but you dive into that area and it's kind of slide off the wall and you can get into the...
From what I can gather, I think your hitbox is like changed when you dive, and when you dive into there, you're just kind of like squeezed out by the game, and it has nowhere to go but send you upwards, so you just get like a ton of momentum. I think that's how it works. I'm not really an expert on it.
Sounds feasible, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Mart said, FPS dependent. So is it like higher FPS or lower
Yeah.
FPS?
Yeah, you want it to be higher FPS.
Yeah.
I tried to do it in a Skype call back when I still used Skype to show a friend, and it locked the game at 30.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, I can't get this
30
trick.
FPS,
What's going on? And then I stopped screen sharing, and I'm like, I literally got the trick right away. But yeah, this game has a lag reduction strat. It's called Buy a Good Computer. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the runs, that was good.
Yeah, that was a really solid well.
It's not easy, but yeah, they cap it at 60 FPS for that reason, so it's not like pay to win.
No, exactly.
I'm gonna try and get a dive out of this, just put me a little bit closer to the timepiece. You'll hear it. Yeah, you hear me dive during that. Just put me a little bit closer, it's not that big a deal. But.
Yeah, like anything you're able to do in those like fixed cutscenes is like just so nice. Yeah. Just little things that add up.
Cool, so when I go back into the telescope, because I have to go back to the telescope, it's going to give me, obviously, say I've got 2 timepieces. So I got contractual obligations and I got subcon well as well. So this is where the route changes from the old route as well. I now do mail delivery service now. There's a contract I want to unlock during this mission, and I'm going to do this entirely with keyboard and mouse because it requires aiming. And
he
aiming
just wants
on
to flex his CS:GO skills.
Yeah, man. I'm a CS:GO pro player.
But yeah, to explain why you would switch to mouse and keyboard, this thing's really weird. It kind of has like, obviously you have to aim, but the movement is a little camera relative as well. It's sort of something you want to move with WASD and the mouse. It's anyone that's played this game casually with a controller kind of knows what I'm on about. This thing feels really strange, and just aiming with it's awful.
Okay, so I actually got a double mail shot there. There was, actually I mashed it. So I actually shot a mail, like the one that I sort of lined up for a little bit. I shot it through one because the mail keeps traveling.
Yeah,
mail keeps traveling even though it's like gone to the recipient. So I actually shot it through one and it hit another behind. So I actually got 2 with one shot. That saves a little bit of time. Alright, try and jump into this timepiece and do a cool little thing. Hopefully I get it before the menu. Yep. So this menu's going to come up. Timepiece count is going to go up. I can save and return to hub and actually save a little bit of time there.
It just cuts out the rest of the...
Yeah, and so that's why you leave that one right by the start as well, so you can finish right there.
Yeah, you just shoot him and like jump right off.
Basically.
Because otherwise, if you were to do him first, the other guy in the route would spawn and you would have to sit through like that and then run over and you just lose time. Yeah.
Alright, let's hope I can get this first try. So this is
busted.
This is the reason why this route is faster now. So this didn't used to be in the any percent route for the longest time. But yeah. Oops. Quit the hook shot that we got in subcom.
What that is the game has badges you can put on your hat and have different abilities and modifiers. So you just need the hook shot badge to use those hooks.
Okay.
So Mart's just going to change the graphic settings just because he wants better performance here. Nah. So what changing the graphics actually does is the toilet just falls through and dies, and he gets a free timepiece.
Yeah, it's yeah. So,
We
I
neither of
don't
us
know
really
why it
know.
works. I know how it works. So basically, you pause as the toilet sort of teleports under the map. And then what I did there is I went into the graphics settings to, it actually lags the game. So like you change the graphic settings and it lags the game ever so slightly. And then you pause buffer out. So I was like holding escape, coming out of it. And for whatever reason, that just like sends him to his death. Much like the Mafia boss, it just sort of sends him down to his death. And when it records the boss is dead, it just spawns the timepiece. So you just don't fight that mini boss at all.
And it's funny because the final boss of the game can just fall through the floor, and it's the one boss that if it falls through the floor will come back.
Yeah.
But everything else
Pretty
is dead.
precise platforming here.
Yeah, so what you're meant to do here casually is ring these bells that make the platform solid, and then use cherries to break these walls of glass, but you can literally just climb on everything.
Yeah, with a series of jumps, you can just skip all of it. It's very fast, it wasn't too bad. So this one, you probably noticed, like with Subcon, I've been signing a bunch of contracts to unlock certain timepieces. That's kind of the gimmick of this. For the Subcon well and for Vanessa's Manor, which is this one, Queen Vanessa's Manor, you don't need to do that at all. You can just go straight to the timepiece, or straight to the level, basically. You don't need to unlock the contract, whereas Toilet of Doom you do need to unlock. Mail delivery service you need to unlock.
So this level has a funny little story. This is like a Luigi's Mansion inspired horror-ish kind of section, but they put this little gap here that takes you straight to the end.
Yeah.
So when this game was in beta, all the beta speedrunners and all the people playing the beta game casually, Mart's trying to get up on above the door here because it skips a little cutscene. And then he's
lost
jumping
more
over
time
the
going
trigger.
for it than the
It probably
cutscene.
would have been the same to watch the cutscene, but whatever. It's cooler to get
Cool
the
thing to do,
trigger.
yeah. So basically, yeah, this one,
It was half meme that this was too scary, and that it
it's
also just took too long.
No, it's a legitimately scary
No,
level.
okay,
In my
yeah, you know
casual
what?
playthrough, I was...
No, it's a great section,
Yeah.
but basically amongst the community, everyone was like, Vanessa too scary, please give us a skip. So the devs were like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was,
Just skip
it's a very long level as well,
Yeah,
so...
super long.
Yeah, it's a completely intentional thing that the devs put in to be able to skip it, so...
I was always kind of sad they took out the third floor. Like the
Yeah,
serial
they did.
killer
yeah,
attic.
because the
that they
beta,
had.
I think, had extra stuff in it, and they took it away.
It was
but-
like plastered in creepy newspaper clippings. It was so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, this entire world is really dark for what seems to be a children's game.
Yeah.
There's foxes that say we want to die.
Well,
They-
there's a line when your soul gets stolen, and it's like you feel empty inside, and then when you get it back, it's like you feel just the right amount of empty inside.
Hopefully I can make this cycle. Okay, cool. I didn't. I don't think I jumped.
Yeah, I don't know if that swing
Yeah,
was
I
at the
kind of
apex.
messed up the input. That's fine.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I think I missed the jump input. That's fine. All of these time refs are pretty much based around cycles, so there's always some kind of cycle I want to make optimally. Obviously I didn't make this one, which...
Might use Battle of the Birds rift to explain FPJs, by the way, just so
Yeah.
you know when that's coming.
That's fine.
The one that uses a bunch. I can't remember which name it was though.
Oh, I don't like where this timepiece is.
Yeah. One thing I don't like about the timepieces is all the effects they have around it. It kind of makes it hard, depth perception-wise, to get them in midair.
Yeah. Oh,
You got the best hat.
No, it's the... No, go
Nah,
away.
get out of here.
Where's my
like,
dino
the dino
hat?
hat's good, but come on.
No. It's all about the dino hat.
Mate, nah, I'll fight you on this.
I'm really upset right now.
He can still get dino hat, so there's still a chance for Mark to get his
Where am
hat.
I going? Forgot. So yeah, I'm basically doing the two time refs that have spawned. These are usually pretty fast, so you pretty much want to do all of them that you come across.
Yeah,
go ahead.
absolutely, go for it.
I've got a $10.95 donation from Upjohn who says, nail the bag skip, good luck on the rest of the run, you are killing it.
Hey,
Thanks,
thanks,
Upjohn.
Upjohn. So something about how this level is built, you'll notice he's going pretty far into the forest. Every level has like a design gimmick. Subcons is like heavy on exploration. So basically you're sort of meant to like look around the forest for ages and like find this, but once you know the route, you just go straight there. There's also something to do with throwing paintings into flames. It's something he did with the blue paintings earlier, and also like when he first came in, it basically opens up more of the hub. So like that's Subcon's big gimmick, is encouraging exploration like casually. So like the next chapter, Battle of the Birds, is going to be like all based around like linear platforming stages and like really like fast-paced stuff. You're not going to touch Alpine Skyline. I still don't think that's in the route.
Not at all.
But
no.
that one's gimmick is there's no timepiece select, so you just have to wander. And then Mafia Town is literally just a Mario Sunshine level.
Oh, I missed it. Wow,
unfortunately.
I didn't get any momentum off that. But basically, you can skip a bunch of this platforming here where you have to hit bells and they show platforms, but hit this bell, that should be fine.
You should have that. There you go.
Yeah, you can just skip it.
If you you know you've really gotten a good one when you just get the timepiece straight away.
Yep.
Like some
yeah.
people, instead of obviously if it's a marathon run, you want to hit the bell there.
I do usually go for it in attempts, but it's very hard where you can go without hitting the bell and you can do a momentum jump straight to the timepiece, but you don't have the safety platform beneath you, so
It's
it's
risky.
very risky. Yeah.
It's not uncommon, like if you're learning the game, to like lose so much time on your first run to like little mistakes and rifts. It happened on my first run. I think it happened on yours. Like it happens to so many people. There's a lot of optimization in them just because it's all pretty much pure platforming.
Alright, so now we've got the final boss. He takes away our hat abilities, so we don't have any hats. That doesn't really matter. There's
R.I.P. right?
Yeah.
The boss fights in this game, just kills the bit right in the screen completely.
Yeah.
So I want to wait
does
until
lock
the
it
Your
up.
Kind of Rude cutscene comes up. You're not supposed to hit him there, but if you kind of like hit him and then like swing sort of to the left, you can hit him a bunch and like advance it a lot further. He still technically takes damage, even though like there's kind of a gimmick where it's like you're not actually damaging him until he turns blue, apparently. So
Yeah,
you turn him blue,
it's a nice little meta joke where if you notice with the Mafia boss earlier on, nice.
and he's dead. So.
Yeah. The Mafia boss would like turn blue after an attack, so you literally put blue paint on him because he's like, haha, I turned off the ability to be blue, you can't hit me. So it's a nice little jokey bit.
$10.95 donation from Dino Hat saying, best hat coming though.
Oh, yeah.
Best hat coming through, sorry. Best hat coming through.
I can't
Based
really
on
complain because like it's still one of the best hats in the game. I just love Ladybug.
Yeah. All right. So now we're signing this contract. He's trying to tell us to get out, but we modify the contract slightly, which is exactly how contracts work.
He's gonna match through the dialogue, but it's like a great moment where he's like, you realize that's not how this contract's gonna work.
He might be it. And then he gives us our soul back, but because we skipped the very first cutscene where the bag skip, he
have
actually
an
never
extra
took our
soul.
soul. And we now have 2 souls because he never took our soul in the first place. So we now have 2 souls, which is scary to think about. All right, and then we get this timepiece. Here we go. And that's it for Subcon. Subcon is now by far the longest homeworld. You do pretty much everything there except for the purple rift.
It's
so-
better than what used to be the longest
Yeah.
world, which was Battle of the Birds.
which is where we're going to next.
Yeah, and it's been improved so much with this route. Like, if you want to get into this game, and any percent, like, this is a great time to be getting into it, because there's so much less dumb garbage you have to deal with in Battle of the Birds.
Yeah. I think the route is much better.
Yeah, like, it's actually, there's still a lot of crazy stuff you have to do, but it's a lot easier than what it used to be, in my opinion.
For sure. Alright, so we actually, like, we went to Subcon, which was, went to Chapter 3, and this is now Chapter 2. The main reason why we go to Chapter 3 before Chapter 2 is because we get the hook shot in Chapter 3, and the hook shot's required for some of the timepieces here, so...
Best IL, by the way. I love this level as an IL.
I feel I can pull it off. Well, I didn't get the DSJ, so... Alright, well...
So basically you're meant to like climb up and around here. He's just going to use that little cactus and jump straight up.
Yeah. Usually I do a double sprint jump, which doesn't explain either, but...
So this level's cool because it's going to have like a lot of speedy movement, momentum shenanigans, like use of checkpoints. So just like fall down and continue. Nice, you got it. You can like sprint off that and like retain the momentum from the platforms moving, and just jump straight over.
We're harassing those owls, man. Come on.
Yeah, harassing some owls off.
I just want to say right now, I hated the achievement for doing this without getting like spotted at all. But then you learn like the run for this, and it's like free.
Oh yeah, if you dive boost into those bags as well, you get like mad
you get
speed
mad,
out of it as
mad
well.
momentum.
So
Yeah.
hopefully I've done that right as well. There's a little bit of camera manip that I did there.
Yeah, you
well,
have
it
to-
doesn't matter because I got stuck on the wall going for that jump.
Basically, that little electrical fuse box, if you're too close to it, it's kind of hard to get up on top of, and the camera kind of locks. So you do it from further away because it swings around like that. He's not moving it like that. The game's doing that.
Yeah.
And then you climb up on top of here and skip so much, and then you jump down here and like skip that little corner there. It's if you've played it casually, it's like so cool just knowing what is just being skipped because there's this obnoxious moving platform
Yeah, if
section.
you do, it feels really nice to pull off, but it's hard. Oops. Oh, I just bounced on his head. That's fine.
Just abuse DJ Grooves because Conductor's better.
Alright, so I'm gonna mash through this. And I need to get done. So that's a cool little thing there where that actually, you can like draw on that and that becomes your save file picture.
Yeah.
Kind of a neat little thing. Obviously we don't want to do that.
There was a ton of like save file exploitation memes.
Yeah. So that was that. That was, it's not really sub 2, so that's pretty bad, but that's fine. Okay. What do I do next? Just trying to remember the route. Our route's so new that
Next is
Murder. Yeah.
Murder, yeah.
Murder, then picture. Yeah.
So Murder's a pretty cool level because the way this is going to work in the run is you're going to hit certain rooms, and rather than the gimmick is you have 1 hour to solve the murder, and as you progress through the level casually, it will tick in increments until it's run out. But because Mart's going to basically sequence break, by the way, that's the keyboard mash.
Yep.
Nice mash by the way. That was nice and fast.
Yeah, well, not really. I
Compared
missed
to
the
me,
math.
man, I suck at switching a keyboard there. But he's going to sequence break once the murder mystery segment begins, and the clock is just going to do some really weird stuff. It's going to go up 40 minutes at one point. I'm pretty sure.
It's yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to be a very you find clues and figure out who done it sort of thing.
Basically,
but,
yeah.
Yeah.
there's no restrictions on I know where to go, and so you can just skip straight to there, do some unintended stuff, and it'll just skip straight ahead.
Yeah, you're supposed to collect clues, and then you're supposed to right at the end you're like, oh, this is who did the murder.
Yeah.
But it gives you the conductor as a clue right at the beginning, and it doesn't matter who you pick; it's always going to be correct. So
We won't say anything about the other clues you can get, but there's no wrong answer, and this is worth playing for every single ending because they're all hilarious.
Alright, I just skipped 2 minutes worth of platforming by
Yeah, that
doing
was
that.
great.
So you usually have to run around and do a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, that
So
one.
obviously
That's the one that really breaks this level.
The clock moved 10 minutes there, but the next time you see the clock, it's going to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes ahead.
Yeah, because we did that, the broom resets there, so yeah.
And so I guess to take it back from the actual tech and stuff a bit, the theme of this is essentially it's a movie set type thing or something.
You're shooting a movie, yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not actually, no one is actually killed in this mission, kind of spoiler. At least in the context of the movie, you're filming someone is, but
Yeah. And so I think that's why it's there's no right answer, because it's just it doesn't matter, just film whatever's interesting.
yeah, basically Hat Kid's the ultimate method actor because she's in genuine danger and no one else is. Yeah, there you go, 30 minutes ahead.
Yep. So that's supposed to be very, very long.
Ton of mashing here.
Yeah, alright, so lots of mashing, and like I said, didn't collect any evidence, but it gives us the conductor, so we just pick that, and it's like, yeah, you're correct.
The way the level is structured is it's optional to pick up like clues and case files, and it kind of just like if you get all of them, that's like your reward for being very thorough. Or you can just pick up nothing and like the conductor like yells at you, and you can just be like, well, you killed me. I don't like you.
Hold down or X to skip through that. Do Picture Perfect, which has had a reroute as well.
Oh wow, that's actually news to me.
What?
I actually did not know about the reroute.
Oh
Picture
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So we used to go around to the left here. We now go around to the right because of a new thing. Basically, we've got to get endorsements because we're famous and they're taking pictures of us. But now go around.
Shoutouts to Cyanitar. She did all the art for this game. It's really good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funny photos in this level.
So I want to get this endorsement. There's 2 endorsements that we get to get a bunch of fans. This one kind of breaks the second one a little bit, which is why we get it now. Also, we're on the moon, so the physics. So I'm like really floaty at the moment, so it's kind of hard when all the timing for dive boost and movement is not floaty.
If anyone follows Mark's stream, moon gravity like triggers his PTSD.
I don't like the moon at all. Alright, now I want to get... So this dog, that dog doesn't usually spawn until you pick up an endorsement. Yeah, you're supposed to pick up an endorsement towards the bottom there, but because you picked up the endorsement earlier, that dog spawns and you can just
Bonk straight in.
yeah.
Nice.
That wasn't too bad. And I changed to the brewer hat specifically for a reason here. This might be a good time to explain SDJs actually.
Alright, so SDJs. What Mark's been doing, he's been using the sprint hat, and you might be noticing that he'll be hitting a jump and traveling a really long way, and sort of like retaining that sprint speed. Typically, like if you're familiar with the game casually, he'll do like a flip jump if he were to just hold the sprint button while jumping, but if he lets go and then hits jump within like a very small window, like it's a couple of frames basically, he retains the sprint momentum, and then he can then double jump, and it won't cancel that momentum and just carry him across wide gaps. So you're going to see it a couple times here. He climbs up the wall to hit that checkpoint and respawns. So he's going to do it here. This is going to be an SDJ if he gets it.
Yep.
Nice.
So you get like a bunch of speed there, and normally that should only be... so I was supposed to do an SDJ there as well, but I forgot. That's fine.
The like optimal run through of this
Oh my
level
God.
in particular is really cool
Okay.
to watch.
The camera kind of messed me up there. Yeah, ideally you do 4. That was the 4th one. Yeah, ideally you do 4 there if you were good. But it's right.
They sound intimidating, and like it is easy to miss them, but you can get the hang of it. So
Yeah.
don't let that discourage you.
It's not too bad, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's basically like you said, like 1 or 2 frames.
It's more DSJs that are the really annoying ones.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even find DSJs that bad anymore.
I find them more annoying than SDJs at least.
Yeah. I'm going to MartyrrSenpai.
So a nice little touch with this level is depending on what side of the map you have a time rift on, it'll be in that respective director's chapter. So it was on the side of the Express.
Matching to get through this
So
door.
it's over here.
So I'm gonna do another SDJ here. It's pretty important. Hopefully I don't miss it.
Oh man, I sucked at this on my first run.
Nice.
Nice. So Mart has skipped a checkpoint here, and if he messes up once, he's gonna go all the way back. So nice.
Yeah, cool. I need to make that cycle.
Yeah.
Again, being a rift, it's all cycle based. It's still another cycle I want to make.
So obviously, like, all Mart has to do here is not fall down or anything, but obviously when you're trying to go fast, it is really easy to end up, like, off the stage here, have something go wrong, and just, you have to do, like, all this stuff again. I'd say this is one of the more intimidating levels for early runners.
That was pretty good though.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I made the
really
cycle.
nice.
Like, you want to make the cog cycle going up, which is where I waited.
Yeah.
As long as you make that, yeah.
Climbing up on that cog that like sort of spins him up is really glitchy and weird.
It's a little funky.
Yeah, like I've seen it. It's killed one of your runs on stream once. Like it's.
It's killed more than one run.
Oh no, I know that.
Yeah.
I've seen it kill like at least one.
We'd obviously 30 ponds to unlock Train Rush. People who know the speedrunning event will...
This was one of the big feature levels.
Yep.
It's the one you finished on.
It's a hard level to do well.
Yeah. There's a lot of like really well placed dive boosts throughout and just very optimal time. So yeah, that is a really finicky dive boost in this section there, because you have to worry about all these bullets coming at you. And you need to hit these dive boosts on like very narrow spaces. You have to time your dives nicely, and it's just, it's not nice.
It's satisfying, yeah.
Nice little thing here.
Nice, good bomb.
Basically, if you land on that spring, it sends you up, and that trigger actually gives you upwards momentum. So if you were to just jump up into it, the game will automatically apply that momentum and just send you shooting up anyways.
There was a thing I was trying to do there. If I did it properly, I could have landed on one of those platforms as it was rising up. I think I was just a little slow. It's very much timing based. You have to pay attention to how well you do the jumps previous coming out of the
They look like you can just jump straight onto them when they're like on the ground, but they don't actually have collision. You need to wait for the animation to reach a certain point before you can touch them.
Oh, okay. My iframes will be good here. Yeah.
That was
They're really
Mario 64, you'd be so dead right now.
Yeah. They're really generous with the iframes.
They are. I
Oh
watched
my god.
Parallels run to like fire.
I don't know how I didn't take advantage there. Train Rush, this particular area is like, it's one of those levels that once one thing goes wrong, everything else just seems to go wrong. Like it's very much like if you lose momentum, then it's...
Yeah, it's not that the whole thing is cycle-based. Like when he goes into that room, it's set from when he enters. It's just because it's so intensive. If you make one slip up, it can really throw off your confidence. But that's still pretty solid. Nice. So if you mash the dive button,
it's not even mashing. I found out you just hold it as you collect.
Oh, you just
time.
hold it?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so free.
Yeah, I know. I was mashing it and missing it sometimes when I could be getting it all the time. Yeah, it's very weird. Okay, that's it. Yeah. So that's it for Battle of the Birds. You used to do a lot more there. We don't do that. We now go back to Mafia Town because we want to do. Firstly, we unlocked that purple rift that was from the relics that the burger relic that we did earlier. But I'm going to do this.
This
one
is a really
first.
cool level. It can also be a bit intense, so I'll try not to talk too much over this.
So you saw there was a lock on it. Anytime it has a lock on one of the things, it means you need a specific hat to beat it. But we're going to do it anyway.
Basically, if you go all the way to Alpine Skyline, you get the blueprint for a hat that slows down time. This is the only level in the game where you would use it. But if you're a true Alpha Chad gamer like Mart, you don't need that baby stuff. You just use a moveset. And wow, you did like the super Chad grab as well.
That's a good dive boost to get. Oh, that was so good. 28, that was really good.
That was fantastic.
It's about one of the best I've done, actually, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. You couldn't have asked for a better one, honestly.
Yeah. And then we do the only purple rift in the game. So this was part of the route changes. We now do this purple rift.
So the differences with purple rifts to blue rifts is in-game, the purple rifts are sort of like story-based. You learn more about the area you're in, and instead of being like straight-up linear platforming challenges, you have to collect special ponds that open like pipes. So they're kind of like semi-open areas you have to get through, collect items, and nice by the way, and continue. So they're structured a bit differently. We used to not do these just because they're simply more time-consuming than the really linear ones. But yeah, with the new routing, this is good to have. This was also there were 3 levels in the speedrun event. This was the first one that you played to introduce it.
Oh, okay, I made that. Okay, cool. I usually hit.
Totally intended.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I remember when everyone was doing this level for the beta speedrunning event, you could actually insta-kill that Mafia
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you still can, but it's like
Don't
if you
think
landed
so.
on them a certain way, like no one could figure it out. I don't know if anyone ended up like working out what it was, but you could like insta kill him. It was so
Yeah, no,
good.
I'm pretty sure you can't. Okay. No, come back. I really
must
need
have-
that.
That mustn't have been a holdover. I think it might have been velocity based or something.
No, it's fine. That area is still a bit sketchy to me, personally.
It was always this area I hated because of the cans.
Yeah, this is the other place I can get cans. Just Mafia throwing cans at me. Oh my god, they're gonna get me. I didn't get the swag dive into it. That's fine. And then I want to change the brewer hat because the brewer hat only takes two hits with the brewer to get it, so it's a little bit quicker. And that's it for Mafia Town. So Mafia Town's done. I only need one more time piece.
Yeah, and you will be basically activating the end game, which is essentially you've got the final level.
Yep. So I need 25 timepieces to unlock the final level and the final boss.
And there's a total of 40 in the game, I believe.
Yes. Ice hat. So that's why I crafted the ice hat. It's specifically for that. I crafted it during the end of Train Arc. And it was solely for this.
Unfortunately, there's like no way to really like skip up that slide into there.
I already can't go for fast cycling.
Yeah, so these pompadour birds are really annoying. They're different to the regular crows that you might have seen at the beginning of the game in Mafia Town. When these guys hit you, they send you flying.
Yeah.
So you wanna be careful with your platforming here. A lot of the routing involves getting kind of close to them, and if you notice, they really come at you.
Oh my god. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good sketch, but nice.
Yeah, I got the safety checkpoint, so
Yeah.
I already messed up the fast cycle pretty much immediately. So
I'm pretty sure on my first run I actually game over because I was like dropping spaghetti everywhere.
yeah,
Pockets just overflowing with bolognese.
so much spaghetti.
This is a nice little section. You play as Mustache Girl for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
A cool little touch. This isn't really a speedrun thing, but she's actually got slightly gimped controls compared to Hat Kid. Like her jump isn't as good, I don't believe. And she's bad at climbing walls. I don't think she can climb walls, actually.
Yeah, so she steals all the timepieces. We have to go get them back, obviously, so we can get home. She's using it basically to take over the world. Gotta stop her. So
So
25
this is
timepieces, yep.
this is pretty cool. You can like go up on the platform while activating that, and he's gonna jump off, and then we'll jump back up. Nice.
Oh wow, actually almost didn't get the walk on it. That's fine.
So you're meant to have like all these different hats. So that purple block, you're meant to have a Dweller mask for, which makes it sort of intangible.
I actually missed it. Wow.
But if you go up on the clock here and you actually go there, it's nice.
Yeah, there we
You
go.
just
There's like a
straight
little
over.
hole. There's a little hole there that you can just go through.
There's basically a bunch of checkpoints here, right, where it's like you can't, or you're not meant to be able to get past them if you don't have certain hats.
It's
Yeah,
basically a hat check, yeah, but obviously with a bit of.
And then there's
platforming.
another. Well, I mean, it gives you the lock. It says it's another hat check because I need the Dweller hat, which I don't have to actually get through this the intended way. But
What do you mean? You are doing it the intended way. What are you talking
oh
about?
yeah, you're right. Of course.
This is what you're about to see is fully intentional.
I hope I can pull it off first try. This is hard.
Yeah, this is a pretty intensive trick, and of course it's one of those runs where at the end of the run there's one trick where if you miss it, it's really punishing.
And so I think this is one of the things that were like one of the reasons we play, or you guys
This
play
was
on 1.0,
instantly
right?
patched, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is playing on 1.0 of the game. They patched a little hole there.
So
you
Mart
can't go
just went out of bounds, by the way. He basically like there's a gap that the devs did not mean to have there that you can like just squeeze through, and now you're up on the ceiling. And the ceiling is weird. You can like constantly slide on it like this. I don't think Mart's gonna do one slide. He's gonna do like two,
I'm gonna do
maybe
I'm
three
gonna do
slides.
one slide. Are you kidding me? I'll go for it once.
You're gonna go for it?
I'll
Hell
go
yeah!
full slides.
Hell yeah!
Full
Alright.
slides, I have to dodge some invisible walls and then jump over a gap.
Yeah, so
while
basically there
sliding.
are some telegraphs here based on the chandeliers and also each wall where there's going to be like a hole in the floor. So you're going to see him like guide Hat Kid up and around. The problem is there are like these giant gaping holes that you can't see. And there are also,
Yeah, so there was
You
one.
can bonk
I
like
did it a
that.
little bit earlier.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll try it once more and then I'll just do the dive boost across.
yeah, so there's a couple ways to do this. There is a safety strat if you're just starting out in the game, so this is a lot more viable. He also hit a key, which basically takes out shadows and makes it a lot easier to see where you're going.
Yeah, so I hit F5, and because this level's like pretty dark when you go from the top. It's just to help me see a bit better, but I do need to turn it back on before going into the final boss because shadows are important.
Yeah.
Going into the final boss, so.
I believe you use it to read some attack telegraphs.
Read some attacks, yeah, it's pretty important. I mean, I don't do like all the fast strats for for the final boss, so it's not as pertinent to me. But
something worth mentioning as well, like obviously you're like infinitely just sliding here. When you're sliding, if you're able to slide, obviously there's sprinting and then there's dive boosting. If you're able to slide, it is the fastest way to move.
Yeah, well, it's one of.
One of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like amazing just being able to one slide this. And he's also using on the archway, like there's a gap in the bricks there, that's kind of where you want to be, and also the curtain is a nice indicator of like where you should be. This is, it's brutal. Like he's, even those like subtle flicks, that's the
Cool.
scary thing.
Yeah, so I dodged 2 invisible walls, which is what the little twitch I did, and then I went up and I actually jumped a gap there. There's like a gigantic gap that I had to clear.
Also, like for real, like actually, like super poggers that you got that.
Yeah.
It's a very annoying trick.
It's a little annoying because obviously you can't see where all the invisible walls are. So
Yeah. I believe you can show them using the console, but obviously you can't do that in a run or in practice.
I need to hit that cutscene, but okay, cool. And then I jump into the cutscene here. If I missed that, I would.
You would have to. Like,
I'd have to
restart the
re-enter the level. So
Yeah.
that's not good. I just fall into oblivion.
All right, stream. I'm glad you came to watch ahead of time because now the bit rate's gonna die.
Okay, cool.
Nice first phase, by the way.
So
You can
now
get
I have
multi-hits.
So it's worth pointing out as well, because I skipped over all of that, the checkpoint system it kind of breaks. And if I died before that phase at any point, or before the end of that phase at any point, it would spawn me halfway back through.
Yeah, and he would effectively be self-blocked.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on it. But yeah, it would have spawned me halfway back through finale, where I need the dweller hat to continue.
I'll let you focus and I'll discuss some optimizations of this fight.
Yeah.
So with these lasers, you kind of want to jump towards her and you can lock her in place if you get a homing attack. When he switches to the brewer hat, it's Mustache Girl jumping in the air, so for instance, he's going to pull out the brewer hat when she does that air attack. That's unfortunate. You can hit her with it in the arc and then you immediately go for that.
She's under the map, damn it. This can happen, I don't think you can avoid it. She just like spawns under the map and you have to wait until she finishes that attack to...
Yeah. So the optimum thing to do like here is just...
Oh wow. Nice! That was so good.
Nice.
I actually got 2 hits really, really quickly there, and I take intentional damage there as well because it's like a second class stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, you when she dives up into the air, you want to use the brewing hat and then you use the mafia ball, so like you can just optimize your attack patterns basically. You wouldn't expect a platformer to have ways to optimize combat, but here you go. So this is a little bit random. Mustache Girl can choose to do like just regular attacks before putting her shield back on. This is pretty good so far. I think the maximum is 4 cherry?
If you actually land a hit every time.
Yeah.
You can get 1 cherry. There's very few people who have got 1 cherry. Like 2 is reasonably what you can...
2 cherry is what most people like go in 1.
Yeah, so I missed a hit there because like this jumping attack is like one of the worst you can do.
Yeah, and it's very annoying because once you're carrying that cherry, you can't double jump, you can't dive, you just...
Oh, I got a double hit there. Nice. Yeah.
So now we're getting into like the final phase, which is basically just free. A nice little funny like meta joke here is all the characters realize, hey, when we die, she gets hearts for health. Let's just all kill each other and make her invincible.
Yeah. So it's a bit of fourth wall breaking where they realize, that
they just all turn
dying,
themselves
they
into
spawn
pickups.
health ponds, and basically like this final phase, it's near impossible to die because you just keep like every time you get hit, you just get refilled with health immediately. So. As you can see, just constantly getting refilled. And this final phase is very hectic, so I'm going to try
I was
and
going
land
to say,
8 hits.
even though Mart is invincible, there's still room for like optimization in this section because look at this. It gets really crazy. And obviously every time you take a hit, that kid kind of freezes on the spot. So the less you're taking damage, the less you're being slowed down. So even though you're invincible, it's still important if you're paying attention.
Jumping attacks are kind of bad. Hard to get her. I'm glad I did it after. She also moves like way faster.
Yeah, she gets like really hyper.
There we go. Okay, time's coming up.
Time is coming up. It's going to be when he picks up the big ball of timepieces here.
Yep.
And time. Yeah, that's a little early on my part.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool. Considering how little practice I did, a
53
53 is not
is
even
pretty
that bad.
good.
Considering my PB is like a 50XX.
I'm pretty sure that's
high 50 or something.
That's around my current time. Is a 53 maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe I'm on a 55. I don't know. That was solid. Nice.
Yeah, considering I died
All
snarl.
right, everyone, tell us what chat says. Actually, do you want to choose
no,
whether?
no,
Yeah, you know what? Runner's choice.
No,
You're right. You're right.
I'm not
You're
having
right.
any of this.
Yeah, no.
What
true,
we're
true.
gonna do? All right, we've got a choice here. It doesn't change the game in any way.
You got.
but
I mean, you got a pretty good final boss, and you got finale skip second
see,
try.
I don't know.
I feel like
At the same time, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we have a choice. We can give her drop a timepiece and lend the Star Skull for timepiece to defeat the Mafia, but we're not going to do that at all.
Yeah, you hate
and we're
her.
going to let the Mafia eat her because we hate her. So
you have it in
Yeah.
for her, man.
eat, yeah, it's cannibalism. Yeah, that's what I'm going with at least. That's
Hat
what I
in
like to
Time is
believe.
a family-friendly, entertaining kids platformer.
No, she loses all right. She
Yeah.
loses big time. But yeah, that was Hat in Time. I didn't even explore what I think casually is the best world, which is Alpine Skylines. So if you watch this and you haven't seen anything on it, I still implore you to pick up the game. It is incredibly fun.
If you want to pick up the game as a run, by the way, do not bother with console.
I wouldn't that much slower. It's
Oh,
not
actually, no, you're not wrong. Because
Console's not even that bad,
New route
honestly.
options are being explored at the moment. That's true. But
Yeah.
currently, the optimal route is still 1.0 for PC. But things are being found. It's pretty crazy. how
Yeah,
it's
there's a
developing.
huge community behind it. They're all really, really friendly. There's guides going up for a bunch of things all the time.
Yeah. The
Constantly being
runner
updated,
Discord is
so,
probably one of the best speedrun Discords to be a part of. It's
Yeah.
just a great community.
for sure. But yeah, that was Hat in Time. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to Dan and Pastor for commentating. Stay tuned for the rest of the marathon.
Cool. Thanks very much, Marta. Very cool run. Next up, we've got Liam with 007 Nightfire.
Cool.